Back to the grind with the only free MMA channel that fucking matters, full-time MMA. And damn, Kevin Lee talked about a lot of different stuff today. He opened up. He was asked a lot of questions by fans and also by Dan Hardy at the Glasgow Q&A with Emil Meck. I just watched the whole thing, man, and he had a lot of stuff. And as expected, the fans had a lot of questions for Kevin Lee involving Conor McGregor, involving the Chiesa stoppage, involving how he's working with Mayweather, talking about a lot of the lightweights, because there's a lot of lightweights that are stagnant right now in Nate Diaz, Edson Barboza, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Tony Ferguson. Just a lot of top lightweights are all sitting out. They're all just waiting around for Conor to come back. Everybody's waiting around, and Kevin Lee's trying to get a fight. He's a young Thundercat, only 24 years of age, one of the best guys in the division. He might beat a lot of those guys if given the opportunity, but he's not being given the opportunity because a lot of these guys are being stagnant. Two of the guys in the top 5 that are not being stagnant are Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje, but the UFC just booked them to fight in the Ultimate Fighter, so he talks about that too, how he wanted to fight them. The UFC turned around and booked them against each other, so now he's stagnant until any of these guys will take the fight, even if it has to be the Chiesa rematch. Due to the controversial stoppage, people want to see that rematch, but he also came out and let the entire world, his knee was busted up in this Q&A. He said, I don't care if my knee's busted up, I'm still fighting in Detroit in December. None of these guys are acting like they want to show up, but I'm showing up no matter what. Hey, much respect. I'm going to talk about a lot of this stuff, so we'll probably get flooded with Kevin Lee for about 2, 3, 4 videos. But fuck it, it's all entertaining, it's all interesting. He had a lot to say. Let's get to it. So first he opened up talking about the Chiesa stoppage. And Dan Henderson, Dan Hardy asked him, he said a lot of people thought there was controversy. I don't agree. I don't think there was much controversy. And Kevin Lee said, yeah, there was no controversy. If you watch the film, the second that he stops defending himself, Mario Yamasaki rescued him. That's the ref's job, it's their obligation. He protected the man. So if anything, he should be thanking Mario Yamasaki. Other than that, it would have been 4 more rounds and I would have just turned the man's face into hamburger meat. And we can do that again. I'll take years off the man's life if he wants to. If anything, he should issue an apology to Mario Yamasaki. He saved him. He stopped defending himself, waited on me to get tired of choking him. Isn't a good defense, so no controversy. Hey, he had a lot of good points there. And if you guys recall, whenever that fight happened, if any of you, I know a lot of you, some of you do, then when that fight happened, it wasn't too controversial to me. I thought I saw Michael Chiesa's hand stop moving. It looked like he went limp for a second, and as soon as it happened, Mario Yamasaki stopped the fight. Now, yes, I will say, he should have moved his hand and made sure he was limp, as that's what some refs do, but that's not usually when they're looking in a fighter's face. That's usually when they don't have a good angle, or, it was a little quick, but at the same time, man, it looked limp. He had the choke locked in. There was still enough time on the clock, at least 50 seconds or more. It might have been longer than that. There might have been a few minutes, but there was a lot of time left on the clock. That wouldn't have, when he stopped defending the choke, so he would have just been sitting there, man. And he did say that the choke wasn't in, but it looked like he was defending it pretty tough. Mario Yamasaki, he is, even though some people don't like him as a ref, he is still experienced. He does still have experience. He does at least have a little bit of credibility in the octagon. So Kevin Lee said there was no controversy, and I was fine with the stoppage as well. I'm also fine with the rematch. This is one of those scenarios where people can say, "Oh, you're on Kevin Lee's side." It's like, no, bitch. I don't care if there's a rematch, because I want to see Kevin Lee fight again, and all these other dudes are stagnant. So I'm down with the Chiesa rematch. If it's Chiesa, nobody, let's get the Chiesa rematch in there. Do I think the same thing's gonna happen? Yes. I think Kevin Lee will beat Chiesa again in the rematch, but I'm fine with watching it. I think Kevin Lee will actually beat a lot of these top 5 guys, but they won't take the fight. A lot of these guys are being stagnant. He said Edson Barboza injured. I'll get to that in the stagnant video, but he said Edson Barboza, he wanted to fight him too, but he's got an elbow injury now, and He said a lot of these guys don't want to fight, you know, if they don't got their toes done or if they're a little banged up. He said my knee's busted up and I'm still gonna be there to fight in December. So he's letting all these guys know, hey, if you guys are fucking scared of me, come fight me while I'm on one knee. He's trying to get a fight, man, and I respect Kevin Lee. A lot of the stuff he said today just made him his stock rise higher with me personally. Moving up my motherfucking favorite fighters list. He is one of my favorite fighters, and I'm looking forward to his shit. And I think he is one of the top. I think he should be in the top 5. If any of these guys would take a fight with him, I think he'd prove himself. But he's not getting that opportunity. With that being said, I do think it was funny. He said he believes Michael Chiesa should issue Mario Yamasaki an apology. You see how pissed Michael Chiesa was at Mario Yamasaki? You know he's not issuing no motherfucking apology. But it was funny. And a lot of this shit, this wasn't like no interview where sometimes you don't know if it's scripted, if the questions are prepared. These were fan questions and stuff, man. A lot of this shit was improv. Kevin Lee, he'll improv his ass off. That shit was funny. With that being said, there's a lot to get to. So I don't know what else to say, man. Fuck it. It is what it is. Let the haters know what the fuck you talking about in the comments, dude. Why are there only 2 pallbearers at a homeless guy's funeral? Because there's only 2 handles on a trash can.